What's going on, y'all? And welcome back to the Morning Vibe. We appreciate y'all being here. Let's hit that intro music real quick so we can get started on this fine Monday morning. There's just something about this beat that just hits a little bit different on Mondays. I'm telling y'all that right now. Over on the main channel, they've been asking for old Eugene to be in a podcast. And I don't know if that's something that you guys want to see or not. If it is, make sure you leave a comment down below because I'm pretty sure we can make that happen. I'm pretty sure I got enough connections with old Eugene that I can get him in here on the podcast at least once or twice. Maybe. We'll have to see how that works out. Welcome back to the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are trying our best to get this thing all scheduled out and fixed up the way we want it to be. We really want these uploads to happen 5 days a week from Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Last week, we got 3 up. Unfortunately, I ended up having to go out of town last week to handle a business meeting up in Asheville. I did make a video while I was there, though. So if you guys are here from the Cameraman Ron channel, you guys got a good one dropping at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Make sure y'all check that out. If you're new here to the Morning Vibe and you're not familiar with the Cameraman Ron channel, I do have it linked down in the description box below. I know we picked up a few subscribers just organically through the platform. So make sure you check that out if you're into outdoor content, stuff like that. We do all that over there on the YouTube channel for Cameraman Ron. But we do have a banger of a video dropping this afternoon at 4 o'clock Central Time. When you guys see this, you're only about 8 hours away from that video dropping. First off, I want to say appreciate you guys so much for being here with us on this fine Monday morning. If you're not listening to it on the day it comes out, whatever day you're listening to it, we still appreciate you being here. I'm gonna take care of a couple of housekeeping notes because I think there's a lot of questions right now about what's going on with the main channel and with the Morning Vibe and Coastal Country and all this stuff, because it's kind of all over the place. We've had all this stuff in the works for the better part of 6 months that we've been working on putting this stuff together. And this is just kind of the culmination of that. We're putting the podcast on the Cameraman Ron channel throughout the entire last part of 2022. And we did that to just kind of test the waters to see what you guys thought, to see if you liked it. And the response was really good. So we're going to continue doing the podcast. We are going to pretty much be moving the podcast over here exclusively to the Morning Vibe. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel if you are coming over from Cameraman Ron channel. Even the big creators that we sit down and talk to ultimately are going to end up on the Morning Vibe. I feel like doing an hour-long podcast on Saturday mornings on the main channel might just be a little bit too much for folks. So I think what we're really going to try to do is maybe put 10 minutes of that on Saturday morning with the main channel, and then the rest of that will be broken up into segments. And you guys saw that a little bit this week, or this past week rather. So if you watched, I put a podcast that I did with our Sizzle. I put a little 15-minute snippet of that in there. Also did one that I did with Daniel Arms, put a little 15-minute snippet of that in there. So we're still going to be bringing you guys all the original stuff over here on the Morning Vibe, the talks about content creation. And that's what we're going to talk about today here in just a minute, is a little bit more of the content creation stuff. But I just kind of wanted to square everything away. Of course, Coastal Country is Sarah's standalone channel. I'm involved in that some, but that is her, man. She has been working her tail off, taking care of the Morning Vibe stuff. So make sure y'all are checking her out over there at Coastal Country. I've got all of our stuff linked down in the box below. It's not hard to find it. And as well, if you go to www.cameramanron.com, that's going to have everything I'm talking about. It's got all the Morning Vibe stuff. That's where everything's going to be centralized. And what I'm trying to do right now is get this podcast put onto the Cameraman Ron website. So it's really easy for you guys to listen to it. If you don't want to log into your YouTube account and drive down the road, if you're too tempted that you can't not look over there at this pretty face, which I don't think is going to be a problem for any of you guys. But if it is, that way you can just listen to it. I'm still working out the logistics of that. That part of it is all new to me. I know you can get these put onto other platforms. I'm just not 100% sure exactly how to do that. Today, we're going to talk about, I met a new friend this week. His name is Charles Bryant. He is an amazing fisherman out of the Navarre area, right here just down the road for us. And he had reached out and he was asking me a few questions about content creation in his YouTube channel. And he actually has had a very successful YouTube channel for a while, but he was doing the gaming market, had a lot of really big videos on the gaming market. And now he switched over. He kind of let it fade out, I don't know how to say that word. He let it fade out. Yeah, that's it. Not leaded. Leaded's not a word. Leaded gasoline or unleaded gasoline, but leaded it fade out, not a word. Anyway, sorry, we got off on a tangent there for a second. but he has switched over to fishing content. So I was trying to talk him through some thumbnails, and I want to start this by saying, and I told him this when we sat down for lunch the other day, the information I'm about to pass along to you is not information that I've like waved a magic wand and figured out. Everything I'm getting ready to tell you is something that another creator somewhere along the line has told me. I'm just passing this information along to some of you who may not have the opportunity to talk to some of the people that I get to talk to. So I don't want to make it, I don't want to come across in this video like I'm the end all be all and I know exactly what I'm doing, because goodness gracious knows I don't. I've got so much left to learn on this platform. So all this information that I'm getting ready to give you is straight from other creators that I've been blessed to be able to work with along the line. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm sitting here taking credit for something. I'm not. This is other people's words, and I'm just letting them pass through my mouth. But what we're going to talk about today is thumbnails and how important a thumbnail is for a video. Now, you hear that said all the time, but I don't think anybody ever really breaks it down for you of to why it's so important. And my son watches all these gaming guys. There's a guy on there named Danny Gonzalez that he watched, and he was kind of breaking down. I don't even know who he was talking about. It was the guy that was trying to get a penny to Mr. Beast. And he was getting, millions of views and upload, but he uploaded a video and it was doing terrible. It was tanking. It was a video that he invested a lot of money in, and he was kind of freaking out a little bit. Well, he got to looking at it, and he had made, it looked like a really cool thumbnail. It was just a penny with a black backdrop, and he wasn't getting clicked. Video content was exactly the same, but he was not getting clicked at all. And he went in and he changed the video background from black to green, and this thing skyrocketed. Now, there's no magic color that's green. That's not what I'm saying. What was different though is, imagine picking up your phone and scrolling through, and all you see is just a black backdrop and a thumbnail, or a really dark backdrop and a thumbnail. That's not highly clickable. You want your thumbnails to be bright, shiny, eye-catching, because you have to remember, if you're doing your thumbnails on your computer, as you should be, or if you're doing them on a phone, that's fine, but if you're doing them on your computer, you have to keep in mind you've got a big screen that you're looking at your thumbnail at. Most people are not going to see that on a phone, or see it on a computer or a television. The vast majority of people is going to be looking at it on a cell phone, so it's going to be much smaller. So you're going to want to get something that kind of jumps off the screen at people. And you have to spend time on your thumbnails. And so many people I talk to in the industry, they're like, yeah, just let YouTube pick it for me. You don't ever do that, ever. Even if you have to go through and, find your own thumbnail within your thing and like doctor it up in Photoshop, or I was telling Charles, my favorite website to use is PicMonkey. I think it's like $12 or $13 a month or something like that. But it is an amazing website. And the best thing about PicMonkey, so we have the entire Adobe suite, right? We've got Lightroom, we've got Photoshop, we've got Adobe Premiere Pro, we have Elements, we have, Acrobat. We've got all the things in the Adobe suite. I still edit my thumbnails in PicMonkey. And the reason is, it's just much more easy. It's easier for me. I'm using words that I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. It's early on a Sunday morning when I'm filming this. But you need to be using some kind of program to make your thumbnails look as crisp and as clean as possible and relevant to your subject. You can't not do relevancy when it comes to thumbnails. I mean, if I'm doing a fishing video, you're not going to see me go put a picture of a cat on my thumbnail or something like that. It's just, that doesn't make sense. So you need to do something relevant. And Charles is like, well, how do I make sure if I'm in the middle of a fish fight that I do this thumbnail and it looks clean and crisp and all that? And I'm like, you don't have to do it in the middle of a fish fight. It's okay to make your thumbnails, and you can take a cell phone or whatever. The way I do it, and I'll tell you guys, and again, this is what I've been taught. I take a cell phone, I hold it sideways, and I shoot a video, not pictures. You want to shoot a video because that's going to give you options. So most of the time, I'll get Sarah to come out and help me with my thumbnail, whatever it is. With PicMonkey, you can remove backgrounds. You can do all these different things to make your thumbnail pop. Now, you want to keep it relevant. I'm not telling you to go out and and you guys have never seen me do this. You don't go out and put a picture of a 50-pound red snapper in your thumbnail if you caught a dink like I caught. And then a couple of videos ago, that's not going to benefit you. That's going to That's going to get people that's going to log in there and they're not going to subscribe. They're not going to watch your videos. They're not going to hang around. So keep it relevant, but keep it clickable. The bait thumbnails have always done really well for me. Like I did in the last video where I was just holding the pinfish up. And again, this is over on the Cameraman Ron page. I'm sorry. But like on this channel alone. So what you guys normally see on this is I'm never going to put a thumbnail up with this backdrop behind me. It just doesn't make sense, and it's not going to be clickable. It just looks like a guy sitting in a room. But one of the best videos we've had on this channel so far was like, it's only got like 281 views, but it's just me with this backdrop gone. I removed this backdrop and I put little Lego heads behind me, and it was the one talking about removing toxic people from your life. That video has done really well, but that was an eye-popping thumbnail. You see this dude sitting there, microphone in front of his face, and then there's little Lego heads laying everywhere. That's a clickable thumbnail, and that's what you want. It's not clickbait. I didn't do anything in that to make that video seem like something it wasn't. It was a very relatable title. The one thing you do want to do, especially if you're in the outdoor world, I'm still trying to figure it out on the podcast world because I don't know. I haven't figured out quite what works here, but in the outdoor world, you have to leave mystery in your thumbnails and your title. It's just not a good idea to go on and make a title that says, I caught a 21-inch speckled trout on live pinfish, or I caught a 35-inch bull red on live pinfish. That's not going to benefit you in any ways and especially if you show your fish in your thumbnail, which I highly discourage doing. I know there's people out there that's done it and it's worked for them. I discourage you from doing that. And the reason I discourage you from doing that is because you've told everything that happens in that video. Imagine if you went to the movie theater to see a brand new action movie and you walked in the theater and the title of the video, let's take Die Hard for example, because we just came off the Christmas season. There's always a huge debate on whether Die Hard's a Christmas movie or not. Imagine if you sat down in the movie theater and all of a sudden it shows a picture of Bruce Willis walking out with his wife, giving her to the paramedics. And it says and the title of the movie is Bruce Willis Gets His Man. You don't need to watch anymore. You already know what happens. You know that Bruce Willis got his guy, he killed him, and he got his wife back because you did it in the picture. There's no mystery there whatsoever. And I know that's an extreme example, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. You want to leave some mystery. And again, not that I'm the end all be all, and I don't know everything, obviously. I mean, we're not knocking down the views that a lot of these guys are working, but we are doing a little bit better than some. So some of what we're doing is definitely working a little bit. But a prime example, over on the main channel, I put a video up on Thursday and I caught a big redfish. And I titled the video, Chasing Bridge Monsters with Big Live Pinfish. Now, that's an entirely different title than if I had said I caught a giant bridge monster on big live pinfish. Because now I've told the story. They know I caught one. With me especially, because I do struggle on the fishing side sometimes, those titles work really well for me because did I catch it? Did I not? I've had plenty of times where I've been out there and I've broken off. So that title works much better for me saying chasing bridge monsters rather than I caught a bridge monster, because it leaves a little bit of mystery. They know what the video's about. They know I'm going to go out and I'm going to use big pinfish and I'm going to target bridge monsters, but I didn't tell them in the thumbnail or the title whether I caught one or not. They're going to have to watch the video to figure that out. And people in general are smart and they get that. So it's really, really tough. So I don't want to drag on this for too long, but I did want to touch on that because that was some of the stuff that Charles was asking me, and they're great questions, and just something I thought maybe I could pass along to you guys, and it might help some of you that are up and coming content creators. But make sure your thumbnails are bright, make sure they're crystal clear. You do not want blurry thumbnails, and make sure you can tell what you're looking at. So many times I see thumbnails, and as a fisherman, it's an awesome thumbnail. Like I can look at it and I can see what's going on. But other times it's like you got to think about the whole audience, and maybe they're not familiar with kayak fishermen, and you're blended into your kayak and there's like something in front of you and you can't really even see that the rod's been over and it's dark. That's not going to get pushed very hard because it's not going to get clicked. And getting those clicks is the main thing that you're looking for when you are doing your videos on YouTube or any other platform for that matter. Guys, I truly appreciate you guys tuning in to these episodes on the Morning Vibe every morning at 8 o'clock Central, Monday through Friday. That's the goal. I promise you, as we move through January, we're going to get to that. One of the things I was thinking about, I'm gonna wrap this up really quick. I was up in Asheville, North Carolina, ended up doing a little bit of fishing video. That's what I was talking about. The video was going to be this afternoon on the Cameraman Ron page. One of the things I'm going to start doing anytime I travel, because I do have all the stuff I need to do this. One of the things I'm going to start doing is I'm 100% going to do on-site podcasts. So like I was at an awesome place in Asheville, North Carolina. There's no reason for me not to have the podcast set up because this thing is completely portable, for me to just pull this thing out, set it up, and do a podcast right there by this stream that I was sitting in front of in Asheville, North Carolina. I've got a big trip coming up this coming weekend, and we are going to be doing some of that. So some of these Morning Vibe podcasts are going to be on live location, and you never know who we might run into. We might have a subscriber walking by that figures it out and knows where we're at, and I'll have all the stuff with me, and we might just invite somebody, from the general audience just to sit down and have a bit of a podcast with us. I think that would be really, really cool to be able to include you guys. But I really want to do some on-site podcasts. That's one of the things that are coming up. Got some big goals this year. If you are new here to the Morning Vibe, make sure you smash that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great week. Make somebody around you smile. It just might change the world. We can't wait to see you on the next one. Y'all take care. We'll see you soon.